Good afternoon. Kwa majina ni Stephen Mashua, and I've been given the privilege to speak about youth and the economy. As Baba was talking, I heard him talk about his exile in Norway. Nilitaka kumwambia pia mimi nilikuwa nimejipeleka exile kidogo sababu ya tear gas Mondays. I was a bit worried about my future in this country 2 years ago, and nilianza kutafuta namna za kuondoka hii nchi. And one of the easiest possibility that was available was to live through scholarships. So I applied for a scholarship in Canada and another one in the UK, and I was lucky to get both. So I've been away for 2 years, and kwa vile kumekuwa na handshake na vile nimeona kumekuwa na some bit of stability, nikaona ni vizuri nirudi hapa nchini tujenge economy pamoja. So as we talk about youth and the economy, tunaangalia mambo ya pesa mifukoni. Tuko pamoja vijana? Tunataka nini? Tunataka pesa mifukoni. Na jinsi ya kuweza kuweka pesa mifukoni, we are looking at things like agro processing. Yeah? We've seen a culture where we export raw materials. We are not adding value to our agricultural produce. When we look at the potatoes in Nyandarua, when we look at our avocados in Moranga, when we think about our tea in Kiambu and all other places that have agricultural produce, we always export it as raw material. Na wakati tuna export kama raw materials, we are actually exporting jobs, right? Na ili tuweze kutengenezea vijana kazi, that is one of the requests I would like to place to His Excellency as part of his initiative for young people in the next government. And to bring this a bit closer home, we are saying at least in every village kukuwe na one factory. So we are talking about one village, one factory. At one village, ambayo itatuwezesha kutengenezea vijana kazi in our rural areas. Part of the benefit of this will be reduction of post-harvest losses, which currently Kenya is experiencing between 20 to 50% post-harvest losses, ambayo inafanyika sababu hatufanyi value addition. Jambo la pili ni mambo ya cottage industries. We have our young people who have technical skills in shoemaking, they have technical skills in mambo ya kutengeneza unga. Na wakati nilikuwa najitayarisha kuja hapa, nimekumbuka kuwa samaki huendanisha vizuri na unga ya wimbi. Ni kweli? Samaki huendanisha vizuri na unga ya wimbi. Sasa hii unga ya wimbi huwa inaweza kusiagwa in one of our villages, or in most of our villages within Mount Kenya. For us to have that happening, we need to establish spaces where we have cottage industries in our villages. Jambo la tatu ni mambo ya SMEs, small medium enterprises, ambayo kwa sasa they are the biggest employers. They account for 75% of the working population. And when we think about it, SMEs are at a stage where they need mambo kama tax subsidies or tax holidays and government subsidies. Tunaangalia mambo kama we have one guy who is manufacturing USB cables, and he'll actually be speaking after me. And I've worked with him through the journey, and one of the challenge we identified was when he was importing his raw materials, the import duty was very high. Wakati alikuwa analeta raw materials za kutengeneza those USB cables, they were very high. And for him to remain competitive, he needs some bit of zero rating on the import duty, ili aweze hata yeye kujibakishia kitu na aweze kuuza vitu na bei ambayo inafaa. And part of the intervention again around that area would be, ili tuweze kupunguza cheap imports, ninge request tuweke a little bit of import duty foreign products a little bit high, so that we can encourage buy Kenya, build Kenya. For us to encourage buy Kenya, build Kenya, we have to create a conducive environment. Juzi nilikuwa in the process of starting my small business, spices processing. And I can tell you, up to now, na bado sijaanza kufanya production, nimetumia pesa mingi kwa licensing. Nikienda pale KEBS, naitishwa pesa. Nikienda pale City Council, wanaitisha pesa. Nikienda in another state department, naitishwa pesa. As a young entrepreneur, or as a young person who wants to thrive in business, all these legal and regulatory frameworks ambazo zinahitaji pesa, they are sort of acting like red tapes. Inanizuia ama inazuia vijana wengi ama inafanya vijana wengi waogope kuingia kwa biashara. Ni ukweli vijana? Ukienda kwa Kanjo unaitishwa sijui 10,025 za license. Ukienda KEBS wanaitisha like 5,800 per product. So if we can find a way of having discounts for young people who want to get into manufacturing, young people who want to start businesses, we sort of create a conducive environment ambayo itapunguza ile pesa kijana anatumia anapoanzisha biashara. The other thing ni mambo ya access to credit. As we talk now, na vijana wanaweza kubaliana na mimi, wengi wetu hapa tuko CRB. Ni ukweli ama ni uongo? Tumefanyia CRB listing sababu ya tumechukua loan our mobile lending platforms ambayo tunafanya it accounts for almost 75%. Hiyo CRB listing inafanya our credit worthiness iende chini na inatuzuia kupata loans za kufanya biashara. Na sisi kama vijana ingekuwa vizuri kama baba ukianzisha serikali yako uweze kutafuta njia ya kutengeneza amnesty kwa wale vijana wote ambao wako kwa CRB listing, especially wale wanataka kuanzisha biashara. Mambo mengine ambayo ningependa kuongelelea ni household poverty. As at now, we are looking at a figure of 2.3 million Kenyans between the age of 15 and 35 who are not in education, they are not in employment, and they are not in training. Hawa ni wale watu ambao hawana namna ya kujiendeleza kwa maisha. Kwa hivyo, tungeomba baba kwa ile stimulus program yako, uangalie hawa watu sana, wale ambao hawana elimu, hawana kazi na hawana any form of training. Sababu these are the people who will transform the economy once wainua. And one of my experiences from Canada was something we call employment insurance benefits. Wakati umepoteza kazi na bado kuna uwezo wa kufanya kazi, the government intervenes and gives some bit of employment insurance benefits ambayo inawezesha mtu kuendeleza maisha. And we'll be able to reduce the suicide rates that we are experiencing in Mount Kenya. We're going to reduce mambo ya domestic violence na tutapunguza mambo mengi sana ambayo yanaletwa na economic issues. Lastly, baba, tunaelewa kuwa babako Jaramogi alikuwa mtu mkarimu sana. Na wakati Rais Kibaki alikuwa pale Makerere, Jaramogi alimuita akuje wafanye kazi pamoja. And as he invited him to come and work pamoja, alimshika mkono. That act of Jaramogi ndio naiona hapa leo. Vile Jaramogi alishika Kibaki mkono, ndio unaona pia wewe kama Raila Amolo Odinga unashika vijana wa Mount Kenya mkono. Na mimi kama kijana ambaye ameamua kurudi Kenya na kuishi hapa na kusaidiana na wale ambao wako, ningependa kusema vile Jaramogi alishika Kibaki mkono, pia mimi nataka wewe Raila Amolo Odinga unishike mkono kama kijana na ushike hao vijana wengine wote ambao wanaweza kuunda serikali ijayo. Kwa hayo machache, ningependa kusema kuna potential kubwa hapa ndani na inaweza kuwa tapped if we are able to be intentional about investing in our young people. Thank you.
Tumpigie makofi. Masai imeenda sana. I want to call the next speaker, Anthony Mudhungu. Kindly come and address us very fast.
Right Honorable Raila Odinga, distinguished present, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Anthony Mudhungu. I come from Nyeri, and I'm here to talk about youth and innovation. Myself, I've been in innovation for the past 15 years. I look young, but I'm not. And I learned a startup that locally manufacture USB cables. Maybe you had a company that make USB cables locally. That's I'm the owner and the founder of that company, and I wish to pass some few cables to our late Honorable Raila Odinga. Basically, mine will be short, and I want to say something about maybe you have been seeing innovators in your national TV, and all of a sudden, after 3 months, they disappear. Where do they go? This is a reality. You know, starting a business in this country is a challenge. And one thing is high taxation. My company is nearly 1 year, but my VAT is 16%. The issue of taxation was mentioned on BBI, and I saw Honorable Dennis Wawelo here. We believe all is not lost. What we can do for us as young innovators and entrepreneurs is to have a reduced tax. For example, at the first 1 year, probably the VAT can be 3%. As I grow 4 years, 5 years, the VAT can cause increasing. Because at the end of the day, we want to pay taxes. I love paying taxes because it's part of our fiscal contribution to this country. So increasing tax as time goes, that's something we like. Also something we want to talk about is import of products that they can locally be made. I also want to understand if the Right Honorable Raila Odinga's government will allow importation of toothpicks, something that can be done somewhere inside Kalula Forest to be imported. So these things that can be locally made, they don't have to be imported. And this is the idea one. We can make the import duty of every finished product very high. We have to frustrate imports. If you want to import a whole car, the import should be very crazy. But if you want to import parts, assemble parts, bring a tire, engine, assemble here, the government should embrace you in open arms. By that, we are going to increase, we are going to create job for youth, for those people who assemble those cars. We frustrate that kind of stuff. But for us who want to assemble, the import duty for parts, it should be relatively low, so that you can see the cost of importing a V8 is almost very cheaper when you bring those parts and bring it here. Another thing, the last machine that I brought in my factory that is based in Kirinyaga County, I bought it at 520,000 in China. But the cost of bringing it from China to my factory was 330,000 Kenya shillings. That's the cost of another machine. I could have bought two. This is the idea, this is what we need. We need to have a government to work closely with people like KEPSA. KEPSA has our record, all those companies registered in Kenya. KEBS have our record because our products are all certified and approved by KEBS. We have organizations like KLI. KLI have our tax compliance, they have our record. This is what we should do. All those bodies under the Ministry of Trade probably, and investors if possible, they can have a pool of resources. Myself as a young innovator and an entrepreneur, I just need to get resources to buy the machine from China. And once I get it, I just need to tell my supplier, please take it to this warehouse. Probably our government warehouse, a KEBS warehouse in India, US or China. Once it's there, a government will facilitate bringing that machine for me, also start the cost of the custom for me, the 300,000 I paid. And once the machine are here in Kenya, I should be called, and to go and pick the machines, and the government give me at least 1 year to use this machine, and then I start paying back this 300,000. That's what we need. And when we are getting the invoice for those machines that the government has imported on our behalf, the invoice should have a very big disclaimer that the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Trade and Industrialization, reserves the ownership of this machine until the day you pay this. So when I'm buying those machines in China, I won't be bothering to have like shipping costs. I have the machine, the government ships for me. The 300,000 I pay for shipping, probably I can pay it in probably 5 months or 50,000 each. And also, as I finish, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, we understand you've been Mount Kenya in Kirinyaga next week. I wish to officially invite you to my factory so that you can come and see probably what we do and how you can help the youth in Kenya. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and I wish you a happy Mashujaa Day. For those who wish to buy our cable in the name of Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, we have them there. We are going to sell to you at only Kenya shillings 200. Buy Kenya, Build Kenya.
Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Our next speaker is Carol Mwa.